guys, so that fucking group of people had that video locked down, but I mean, copywritten, but I mean, it's pretty obvious this guy's ENTP. We're gonna try this fucking video. T, let me know if you can hear this, man.
I went to 30 million subscribers on YouTube and I didn't show my face.
Was the face reveal a mistake? Would you feel comfortable doing the rest of the interview without your mask?
Oh, God. Wait, what? I thought he face revealed. That was why I decided, I'll make a satirical video with my friends, kind of make fun of the fact and introduce and talk about the mask, introduce it, and then I'll wear it for as long as I can at public appearances and stuff, to mostly to get people talking and get people being like, who's that idiot wearing the mask and whatever. So I went to like the NBA finals and was on like on the court and you had a lot of people tweeting about that. I just went random places and put it on purposely trying to get in photos and stuff. So people would be like, why is he's wearing the mask at dinner?
All right, guys, if you're watching, this is initiating and this is progression and this is SI. I went here, I went there, NBA finals, blah, blah, blah. It's all like he's exploring.
Or he's wearing the mask, wherever it is.
You mentioned this quote recently from Stan Lee, the creator of Spider-Man, who said, one of the greatest things about Spider-Man is that he's completely covered so any kid can imagine who they are. But I also think people fall in love with Peter Parker.
Yeah, that is the big thing. I even saw some of my fans criticize the fact that I said that before and be like, well, we don't want it to be anybody. They take off the mask. We want you, And I'm like, it's not to say that anyone can be Dream, but anyone could be like Dream. Anyone could, do what I did. I went to 30 million subscribers on YouTube. I started with like a crappy laptop and I didn't show my face. And so in a world where there's like such high like beauty standards and there's so much is put into appearance and in celebrities and stuff, being able to reach one of the highest accolades, I guess, in social media without having shown my face, I feel like it's just proof that you believe in yourself and you don't have to care what other people think.
I feel like so many people know the mask.
Gotta be a martyr.
Dream. It's almost like the Spider-Man.
Gotta be a martyr.
But not as many people know Peter Parker, the guy behind the mask. Would you feel comfortable doing the rest of the interview without your mask?
Yeah. I mean, I think if we're getting more personal, it feels like it's going more into Clay territory. I think I'm willing to take it off.
Can I see the mask?
Yeah, of course.
See how much did this cost? I know the makers of the Batman mask.
Too much. It costs way too much.
How many of these do you have?
7, I believe. 6 or 7. I have them a little spread out. So like if one breaks, I have access to one. I always keep one with me, and then I have backups.
Looks like Mac Martin.
The main places that I travel to and stuff. So
yeah. Well, I appreciate you doing this interview without the mask on and just
Mac Miller.
I feel like it's more personal.
Oh, Mac Miller.
I don't mind. I don't mind it at all. So.
Yeah. How did you think about the moment of that face reveal? Because a few months prior, you were getting 200 million views per month, and then it started like leveling off, and then you did the face reveal. Like, were you thinking about maybe you should do it at the height, like kickstarting or like starting a new chapter for Dream? Like, how did you think about the timing of the face reveal with where your YouTube channel was at that point?
From my thought process, I'm like, well, the dip slightly before and the dip after was actually caused because of the fact that I went from never leaving my house to being able to leave my house.
Yeah.
And so what do you think happened? I was less active. I posted not as much. I didn't, when I did, I didn't practice Minecraft as much. So I wasn't as good at the game. So like like a lot of that, what I say like, oh, that's why. Like, as soon as he knew, you see like the month or two before, it's like my views drop a little bit, and you're like, it's because that's why I did the face reveals. No, it's the opposite thing. I stopped uploading. I stopped doing stuff because I was like, oh my God, I'm able to actually go and do things now. And so I was planning everything, and I spent so much time like planning out, I'm going to this event and I'm doing this and I'm going to go to this Mr. Beast thing and I'm doing that and whatever. And then afterwards actually doing those things. And so like obviously you can see my amount of uploading.
Like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, blah, blah, blah. SI, guys. This guy's an ENTP. Ray, I think you said he was an INTP. I mean, you were close. Somebody said INTJ, you were very far off.
Since then has been very low comparatively, and I plan on uploading a lot more, and I that's something I obviously had my hand full with a lot of stuff, but yeah, no, it had nothing to do with anything to do with like analytics. I was afraid because I had this big moment that I was going to of revealing my face, and I didn't want that to be leaked or something where someone's like, oh, here's what he looks like, and it's like, oh well, Now the moment's not as big because everyone knows what I look like,
right?
Or whatever. And obviously it paid off, so I'm glad that I did it. But also there's many times where I was like, is this worth it? I don't know. And then
so it's almost like you had this ace in your pocket and you wanted to play it before somebody could play it for you, or your identity could be leaked almost.
Well, it's more like a control thing. I was like, this is my thing, and I'm going to do everything I can to make it so this moment's big. I want this to be my moment, and I want it to go how I want it to go, and I'm just going to do everything I can to possibly make sure it happens. Like I was very scared of like I was overly paranoid for sure, but like I can count on one hand the number of times I left the house between 2019 the end of 2019 to when I face revealed. I went to like the dentist a couple times.
Bro was like he's talking so goddamn fast. I'm getting all the like he's SINE guys. He's ENTP.
Went to the doctor once.
Can't believe how much this guy can talk.
Spider movie. Is that 4? Is that
talking
it?
about nothing.
Over the span of 2 years.
Yeah, 2.5 years. I mean, maybe I'm missing a time or two, but I just had groceries brought to me. I just didn't leave the house.
But he never stopped saying
I dropped many shades of like color. It became very, very pale. But yeah, no, I didn't ever really leave the house. But when I did, I was very paranoid. It's like when I said I went to the dentist, I went to the dentist in another state. So I would drive 4 hours, or I would be driven 4 hours just to go out of state, just because people knew I lived in Florida.
Yeah.
And I was like, if they hear my name's Clay, or they hear my voice and be like, wait a second, then I'd be really worried. And I was like, I want this face reveal to be like my moment, and I don't want to risk even for a second like taking it away from me. People tried to send like drones over my house and stuff, and it was just a constant it was a lot of fear.
Yeah, I want to rewind back because I think you were so thoughtful about your career on YouTube, and I want to ask how you're thinking about that with your career in music. I pulled some of these stats, Dream, that just blew my mind. Your first upload was July 2019, and less than 2 years later, you hit 20 million subs with only 100 uploads. Then a year after that, you hit 30 million subs with just 112 uploads. And to put that in perspective, it took Mr. Beast 469 videos just to cross 1 million, and you had already crossed 30 million. What was your plan when you started YouTube? And take me through those days as you were leaving the job that you had before that, because I think so many people try to do YouTube as a side hustle or prep for the one day to become a creator, but you executed on that plan flawlessly. How did you do that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a lot of luck. I always start with that. It's the first thing I say, even though I also believe like, okay, well, it was totally my own, like if I hadn't done what I did, then, but I also believe that there's always that luck contributes to everything.
Yeah.
But I also believe that you make your own luck in a way where you have to be prepared and you have to be ready for luck to happen and then take advantage of luck whenever you get chances. Yes, I worked before, and then I really wanted to do YouTube my entire life. I wanted to be an author. There's a lot of things I wanted to do, but YouTube was one of them that I've been around for a very long time. I did some management stuff behind the scenes a little bit. I did development for like Minecraft servers and stuff, and a couple of YouTubers like Skeppy was a Minecraft YouTuber that at the time that I developed some videos for, and they did well on his channel, and I was like, why don't I do that myself? That's I could probably do it. And then I was like, okay, but if I want to do this, I want to actually take it seriously, because I've been doing YouTube for a very long time. I had been uploading random stuff on different channels and stuff for a very long time before 2019, but it was always just like fun stuff, like me eating a jalapeno or something, or like me reacting to a video, or I don't know, like it would just be stupid stuff. But then I was like, I want to actually like take it seriously, and so I was like, I need to come up with a plan, so on and so forth. And then I quit my job, and my parents weren't very happy with that, because it was like, hey, you're quitting and you haven't uploaded anything, and like I understand like you're saying, a small creator or something are like trying to make it and then they quit their job or whatever, but they're already actively uploading and doing stuff. I had nothing. I didn't even, my channel was inactive since 2014 or something. I hadn't posted anything, and I had no upload, so I was like taking a big risk. But I was like, I have this much in savings, and I'm gonna go until I have this much in savings.
How much do you have at the time?
I had $20,000 in savings. I had $20,000 in savings, and I was like, I'm gonna go until I have $2,000, and then I have to go back to my job. So that was the time frame I had, and I quit in December, and then my first video, like you said, was in July.
Yeah.
It was July 7th or something. And so from January to July, I just like planned and studied and was thinking about what, how to take on YouTube, and you're writing documents about like, oh, I should try this and this, and still trying stuff with like Skeppy and Bad Boy Halo and other like Minecraft YouTubers that were smaller, like so I could testing on their channel or whatever. Like, oh, this
Progression.
idea, whatever. And
Like
see.
what? Like what were some of
Can
the
we wrap
things?
this up, man?
Cool development plugins.
Wrap
Like
it up.
Skeppy did
Just
like
wrap it
a
up.
bunch
It's
of
been
like
way too
random
long.
challenges and stuff, and that I ended up
All right,
doing a
guys.
lot of that on my channel. But it was more like
Getting
how
burnt
things
out
like he
listening
did.
to him.
Like one of my first videos was a cursed Minecraft video,
All right, guys.
and he did
so
some similar
the
stuff.
first stream that we did was like 16 minutes. The video was copy strike, but yeah, he's eating TP, guys. So yeah, can you guys see this? Yeah, he's eating TP. Oh shit, Swizzy. Video game controller spins around. Yo, shout out Swizz, man. What's up, Swizz, man? How you doing? But yeah, so he's ENTP, guys. That's another fucking ENTP for the books. Our plan today, I guess I'll go over what he is. He's informing, right? He doesn't shut the fuck up. He's pretty obvious ENTP. These at this point, if you've been watching this channel, like these type of ENTPs are like the give me's, right? You got the ones that are a lot harder that can be like, you know, take on a more introverted role. But this guy's just blasting you like a machine gun with his talking. Like he's the type of ENTP like my brother who needs a talking band, right? My mom used to be like, put my older brother, and he was the only one out of 6 kids that will get put on a talking band because he couldn't shut the fuck up, right? My mom would be like, JJ, shut the fuck up. Like, boy, hush your mouth. Like, because he would just keep talking. But yeah, so this is the pretty obvious ENTP. It's kind of crazy how like they just blow up doing bare minimum shit. It's insane, man. Like 30
Really, really dumb.
they blow up just doing very minimal shit, and like I mean like 30 million, and then they just walk away from it like it's nothing, you know.
Playing Minecraft.
It's like I know it's a big thing, but yeah. So guys, he is an ENTP. We got the dream. Shout out to KK. This was his demigod selection for the month. He was a demigod. He completed the demigod challenge for the month, so he does get a celebrity type, and I told him I would get it done ASAP. So ENTP. What we thinking for Enneagram? Got to be 7, right? 7.
Definitely.
Definitely 7. ENTP. We thinking 7W6. I don't think he's like the crazy ones. He can't.
Yeah, I think he's a 7W6.
Yeah, he's not like the dark version ones. What are we thinking for the what you call it, SO or SP? What are we thinking, SO, SP?
I think SOSP. Hans Niemann's INTJ. But I think he looks like Mac Miller, in my opinion.
Yeah, he looks like somebody like that.
And even like what's that one guy who does YouTube and shit? Mark Manson. I think he kind of looks like Mark Manson.
Yeah, he does like him. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
What are you thinking for his subtype? NCCN, what?
What'd you say? And what?
What do you think? NCCN? What are you thinking?
Maybe NC.
NC. And what are we thinking for his development?
Above average.
Above average ENTP, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Doing the minimal work for the maximum benefit.
I actually think he might be average, to be honest, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go average.
Sweezy says that Hans is an ENTP.
Hans who?
We can look at that at some point.
He looks like Hans Niemann. Yeah, we'll look at him. We gotta just knock out the Weeknd next, and we will get to him, Sweezy. We appreciate it. Appreciate the love. You some of you guys show up like all the time, and me and Thomas know we just ring the shit. Like we're like, I'm like, Thomas, you good to go? I'm good to go. Let's go. But yeah, let's go. So next we're gonna do the Weeknd for Maria. That's gonna be fun. You know what's crazy? I have a friend that works at the bar, and he's eventually gonna come on, and I've already typed him at the bar, and he looks just like the Weeknd, so that's hilarious. I told him that, and he was like, "I don't look like the Weeknd, man." I'm like, "Yeah, you do, bro."
Well, just one thing I would say, Sweezy, is when you're getting to the top tier level of chess, to where Hans is, it's almost going to be entirely INTJs, and there's going to be like maybe some INTPs.
Yeah.
So I would be super surprised if he's not one of those two types. But I mean, we can
Oh,
look
he's
at
just
it
there.
at
He's
some
just
point.
there. He's just player T.
What's up?
Hans
Niemann, yeah, he's like one of the best. He's probably like in the top 10. He's like
Oh
really,
yeah, he's INTJ.
yeah, you're not going to find an ENTP at that level. You're just not.
Yeah.
I mean, Gotham is pretty good for what he is. But he's had to work very hard to get to the level that he's at. I think Gotham might be like in the top 2,000 in the world, something like that. Which is, he deserves credit for what he's done. But yeah, I think you're gonna have a hard time finding ENTPs at that level.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the Weeknd interview that's probably not gonna get fucking taken down.
Yeah, bunch of cock blockers.
Yeah, they definitely are lame. I'm like, why you not want to spread your message? He's got. Damn, this guy not having any long like interviews. Like, what the fuck? Wow. Okay.
Weeknd, that's crazy.
I thought he'd have longer interviews, but I guess
they gotta be around.
I guess knowing his I don't want to hear Apple Music because they be on your ass. Let's see what they got. No. Well, I guess this is probably it here. Whoever this woman is. All right, guys. So they have the Weeknd right here, guys. They have him as an ISFP. Okay, I'm gonna tell you one thing about my buddy at the bar. He's not an ISFP. It's kind of pretty off the mark there. They got ISFP with 709, and then they got INTJ behind that.
Crazy.
That's wild. So, guys, if you are aware, they got them as ISFP. So, ISFPs are informing, they're responding, they're outcome, they're pragmatic, they're systematic, they're concrete, they're TFI, and they're SENI. They lead with FI, okay, guys? So if he meets that, we will call him that. If he doesn't, we'll find what his real personality type is, as always. Stop. No. Share screen. Make sure you can hear T. So hilarious. All right. I hope this shit didn't get taken down, but whatever. Tiki here?
Music industry is, right?
Yeah.
They want your...
Damn, what the hell's going on lately?
It's gotta be really good, sad song. For it to be really good, you have to be fucking sad, you know? Get into a situation where you have to break up with somebody, or you just dive into the darkness more, and it's I don't know if I...
Diving into the darkness more, you could potentially say abstract.
Yeah.
Want to be in that place anymore, because it gets to a point, you know, where I don't know if I'm doing it for the right feelings anymore.
Nice meeting you.
You too. By the way, I love your work.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Thank you. I didn't know you were familiar with my work.
I love the Denzel interview, which was incredible.
Thank you so
I just saw the Ryan Coogler and Michael.
Yeah, amazing one.
Yeah,
and I was
Coogler.
looking forward to do this interview with you as well.
Thank
because
you.
one thing that I really love to do in my interview is to have like meaningful conversation. And I was really looking forward to have a conversation with you guys on mental health, feeling lonely.
She likes having meaningful
overwhelmed,
conversations.
Which are topic that are addressed in this movie.
Or was it a high level conversation?
High level.
I like having high level conversations.
It was very, I would say, heartbreaking, but so important as well to see the backstage of celebrity, because we always think that it's just glitter and fun. And so my very first question to you, how are you? Like, how are you?
Thank you.
How are you really?
Thank
Definitely coming off responding.
you so much.
Sincerely, how are you?
I'm good. I mean, the whole process was definitely very cathartic. Being able to work with someone like Trey, who, you know, really cared about the material and then ultimately cared about me, and we cared about each other, I knew that if I was going to make this film that's really vulnerable, that you'd have to surround yourself with the right people, you know? The real cathartic experience was finally
I wanted to surround, that was an outcome statement there. That was an outcome statement.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely an outcome statement there.
I knew that if I was going to make this film that's really vulnerable, that you'd have to surround yourself with the right people, you know?
Outcome.
Yeah.
The real cathartic experience was finally watching the first cut and being absolutely blown away by it. And I mean, you've seen it, it's pretty emotional. And
SI, right? He's talking about his own fucking experience here, guys. So we got outcome, SI responding.
Informative.
reliving some of the stuff in there. And
talking about reliving it, okay? That's SI.
And closing that chapter, you know, and eventually it being a goodbye to that moment and that time.
That time.
Yeah.
And Trey, how are you?
I am good. I'm in a good, happy place in my life. Got married not long ago. You know, life is good. I will say, I'll be honest. A lot of the mentality Abel's character is in, the rising anxiety, the feeling of being alone, all that stuff was stuff that was happening to me in the press for waves. You know, probably the most depressed I've been in my adult life. You know, or maybe since my dad passed away from cancer. I didn't even want to make movies. I didn't want to make movies. I didn't want to watch movies. I just wanted. And then the pandemic hit. You know, very weird time. So that's why it's been
initiating progression with this guy. I'm thinking he's either ENFP or ENTP.
Yeah, I think ENTP.
Yeah. And then when I met this guy, and shockingly loved him, and hit it off, never thought this would be my next movie, but then it was like...
Never thought. Oh, progression.
It was beautiful. We met in October. We're shooting a movie by February. Good energy, all connected, and yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I love that. I love the energy.
Thanks for the question.
Yeah.
That's great.
I'm happy too.
What an icebreaker.
I thought it was very vulnerable, by the way. You addressed the topic of social media, can be harassment, mockery. How do you connect with it through your own experience?
How do I connect with social media?
Yeah.
I try not to at all. I mean, we have to for work, you know, so it's just one of these things where it's so funny. Like, I'll see like an actor, like a legendary actor that has never been on Twitter or whatever, randomly pop up on social media and be like, he has an Instagram now, or she has an Instagram. And you're like, you could tell that somebody forced them to do that. Yeah. It's so part of our life now, which is very annoying. And it's become very, you know, we're very desensitized to it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just try to stay away from it as much as possible. And it also just feels very manipulated, right?
Yeah.
Social media feels very manipulated. You don't know what to believe anymore. You don't know what's honest.
That's true.
You know,
That's
so it's tough. It's tough to it's tough to relate to it. Yeah.
For me, I try to I don't know, they clear the head, because like the second you start reading, even I can't imagine for Abel, but for myself and my own films, you know, mean critic or comments or like if you take in all that toxicity and negativity, like it just starts dominating your head. So I don't know.
If you could give any tips for mental health, what is something that you try to practice on a regular basis, or maybe even I don't know, a sentence or a proverb that you go by? What is it?
That's a pretty deep question. For me personally, I would say don't be discouraged by failure. I think failure is okay. I mean, I think
It's huge.
I think that's definitely my mantra. I feel like it's anybody that was great failed 100 times.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes their failures are privately, you know, in silence, and sometimes it's broadcasted for the whole world to see.
Yeah.
You know, but that's okay. I think if you're able to just take the L, you know, get up, you know, do this a little bit, you know, and just accept that you failed, which is fine, but use it as school. I think failure is the best.
He's using a lot of words to say something that doesn't need a lot of words to explain.
I mean, I didn't go to film school, but you have to fail to learn.
I mean, that's
What'd you say?
He used a really high number of words to explain something that doesn't need that many words to explain.
Yeah.
Like he's like making this into several sentences. Like he could have made that into like 1 or 2 sentences, and he's just like he went on for fucking like 30 seconds on that shit.
I think it's the NE, man. Like, you can get attached to, like, say it, like, streamline it properly, you know? You'll see that. So we got him down to respondent, SINE, and outcome. Okay, guys, that's what we're looking at. So that's ISFJ, INFP, and INTP. I definitely think he's most likely abstract. So we got INFP and INTP. Yeah.
I mean, and
artistically, as a person, as
and
everything.
you don't want to fail later on when you never failed.
Exactly.
And then don't know how to react when you do fail.
Exactly.
You know?
Now he's getting all
the biggest
cerebral.
thing for me is just being honest with yourself and don't bury stuff. You know what I mean? Like for me, it's probably with
You
my
know what I
wife,
mean.
like making sure if I'm going through something. It's easy for me to like not to act like you're good, even though you got some heavy stuff on your head and wrestling some heavy stuff up here. But it's important to be transparent with the people you love and sometimes like communicate. You know, both my parents are therapists. It's like owning up to those emotions and talking about that, whether it's with a therapist or a person you love, does wonders. Like don't bury
this
that
guy's
stuff.
talking. He's a starter, so he just like he's talking and then he just like ramps it up. Just in sentence. It's like holy shit, bro.
Well, the other Dream was like he wouldn't even complete a thought, and then he's starting like a new topic. Like I noticed he kept on doing that.
Don't hide it, like confront it and express it. And I think it's just a healthier place to be. You know what I mean? So that's the biggest thing that would jump out for me.
All your movie, I feel like they address mental health. Why do you like to address this type of topic?
You know, with hindsight and thinking about it, one big thing is both of my mom and my stepdad are both therapists. I think I would have been a mess as a human if I didn't have them. I think I also
would have
had,
been.
you know, I was a younger
Potentially
kid.
abstract.
I think we're getting some TI here from this guy. I think that
Kid with
Kinda looks like Jake
ADHD
Gyllenhaal.
and highly emotional and could get.
he reminds me of that one guy from
I've seen this archetype.
his archetype is the one the guy who sits on Logan Paul's show. That annoying guy, Mike. Is it Mike?
Mike Magic.
Is that the guy who sits with who's his co-host? The co-host.
I think so. Like, yeah, he's always with like some porn star.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the
Mike
archetype.
Magic.
Yeah, that's the archetype.
Get angry and then through them realizing like you gotta do self-work to grow as a person. I think all of that was really interesting to me. I'm just fascinated by kind of going to war with yourself, and fighting your own demons. I remember when we were doing creating the concert for the film, I pretentiously called it with Elliot like War of the Soul.
War with the soul.
Another topic that I loved to see being addressed is because in your music as well and in the movie, you address the theme of toxic relationships, loving each other but then hurting each other, breaking each other, abandonment. I want to know, do you know where it comes from, this type of this repetitive toxic scheme that we can hear in your music that we see in this movie again? Do you know where it stemmed from?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think we're all kind of attracted to sad music. There's something about sad music that connects with us, that pulls at our heart. So I've always, kind of connected with that type of music when I was younger.
Yeah.
And it's always just been a part of my DNA. Even films that make me cry, films that are darker, I've always kind of connected with them in some way. But I think, it's a good question because I think ultimately what I wanted to do with burning this persona, just lighting it on fire and saying goodbye to it, it gets to a point, where I don't know if I'm doing it for the right feelings anymore. It's like, yes, I can make sad songs, but the best sad songs are the ones that, it really happened to you. And I don't know if I want to be in that place anymore because unfortunately as a songwriter, you might have to put yourself in those positions. Maybe get into a situation where you have to break up with somebody, or you just dive into the darkness more. And it's something that I don't want to be in my 40s and 50s still making
future focus
work that I can't
future focus
detach myself from it. And I think this film was probably a stepping stone for me to be like, all right, like there's something wrong with this person. He needs to face himself. They need to face each other, and he gets to be reborn. And
abstract.
I don't know if that's gonna happen, but it's like that's what the music industry is, right? They want your sadness.
Yeah.
And you gotta just keep turning them out.
Yeah.
And it's gotta be good. It's gotta be really good sad song. For it to be really good, you have to be fucking sad, So I don't know. I think hopefully this is the first step to...
That's what I was going to ask you, because there is this scene where you literally purify yourself with fire, and it symbolized the end of the weekend. So what can we expect next then?
Well, I got a tour to do, so I can't completely... it can't be completely... or no one's going to buy tickets. No, look, I think...
See, he keeps going back to
I think it's... It's not the first time I've been reborn. It's not the first time I've kind of shed this skin.
He keeps going back to I think, guys. He keeps going back to it. So he between INFP and INTP, he keeps going back to I think, right? He's not referencing anything really. So I'm more inclined to type this guy INTP. My buddy at the bar is an INTP, so I knew that.
Remember when I had my crazy hair, like that Basquiat hair?
And I could see a lot of people mistyping him INFP though.
I'm gonna cut my hair off. Yeah. It's uncomfortable. And they're like, no, don't do that. That's who you are. I was like, well, cut it the next day. Yeah. You know, because I don't want to be handcuffed to a persona, right? So it's like that with this. You know, it's like
handcuffed to a persona.
Sounds
it's
abstract. Like my version of cutting the hair off. I want to just burn whatever is lingering. That obviously was triggered by that night where I lost my voice. You know, there's something obviously deeper happening where telling my body to just slow down. And it could just be a hiatus. It could just be me being like, just stop overthinking. You know, stop working. You did it. You did it. I mean, you see it in the movie. He has everything. Yeah. He has a stadium full of fans. He has, you know, people that you have it all. You know, so be grateful for what you have, and don't what's that in gluttony? Yeah, don't be gluttonous.
You know, he went through what seems like the worst thing you've gone through professionally, like losing your voice in front of 80,000 people. It's like losing your superpower in front of, it's the fact that he wanted to explore this super vulnerable thing, and he wasn't scared of it. He wanted to like explore it and dive in. That was like incredibly exciting to me. And I think that like the foundation of why this whole movie turned into what it was, and the fact that it wasn't even literally his vocal cords, but stemming from a psychological thing that I could just connect to, and I wanted to explore, and it was really, really exciting to me.
Yeah, and
I wanted to
explore. First time I had performed on stage with a high fever, death in the family, a breakup. You know, I've dealt with things, and I've always been able to go out there and rely on, like you said, like the superpower that I have. You know, and I think at one point you take things for granted. Yeah. You know, and I think that's what happened.
But that was also beautiful to show that even though you have this superpower that makes you you, even without your superpower, you're still somebody worth it, you know?
Yeah,
that
exactly.
Your worth is not only in the superpower. I think it was very important to portray.
The first rule was we don't want to make a film about celebrity culture at all. You know, we wanted to make something that, you know, I can relate to because it happened to me. But, you know, I think we wanted to create pressure that hopefully people could connect with in some way. You know, I mean, people do deal with real pressure in life. You know, doctors got to deal with saving lives, and students got to deal with, you know, graduating. You know, I think it was more about creating something human in that moment, creating a flawed human being that we all saw ourselves in, and then tell a unique story that people can hopefully leave the theater, you know, and feel
people go to theater still.
Thank you.
I related immediately, like the burnout, the fact that you're always trying to push yourself to the limit, and I loved it. And to conclude this interview, you know what I loved about this movie?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, guys. So that is an interesting one. I can't wait to have my friend on who looks like him. So guys, he's INTP. So what we saw early on, you guys see the board? You guys see the board. So what we could tell early on is that he's informing, right? He, like Thomas says, he takes a lot of words to actually get to the fucking point. And you'll see that a lot of times with any users because it's just jambling around, right? It's not like a streamline like NI is.
You can't narrow down.
Yeah. So responding, right? So if he's informing, responding, there's also outcome, right? And barely any fucking progression, really. We were lucky to see that other guy who is a progression, ENTP. You could kind of see the difference in the style and the cadence, and how they talk. They're gonna be more in the pragmatic sense. Okay. The tough part about this guys is gonna be his enneagram. I think that's gonna be a tough one.
For sure.
And then abstract. Okay. And if you guys saw in the volume there, it was a lot of like the predominance of I think with a lot of stuff. They're not referencing anything like that. So it was clear to see more TI, right? That means he's pulling from his own framework and not others. And then SINE, clearly everything was about more experience.
Yeah.
So yeah, close that off.
I'm
glad to get another INTP though.
Yeah.
Man. We don't have a lot of them so on the board in INFP. So I really would like to get more INFPs in general for the celebrity typings.
I'd much rather listen to him talk than fucking that other guy. No, seriously. After fucking 20 minutes of listening to Dream, it's like I need to fucking take a nap.
Yeah. So guys, this is going to be the hard part here because we have to.
He's a very unusual INTP, so that's it wouldn't surprise me if most people mistype him just because he's. Anytime you get a type that's outside of like the norm, outside of the stereotype,
yeah,
they're probably like 90% of people are gonna mistype that person.
Yeah. What are we thinking? I'm thinking he's withdrawn 100%. So
for sure, yeah.
459, 459.
You think he's a 4?
No, I don't think he's expressing envy, or I don't think he's like. I don't think he is reactive. So 4s are reactive.
Oh, I thought you. All right, so you said what? So 5.
So 5 or 9.
Oh, 5 or 9. Oh, 5 or 9 is what you said.
Yeah, I think he's got to be 5 or 9. I can see 5W4.
That's kind of what I was leaning towards. Yeah, 5W4.
Yeah. SPSX. XXXP.
Maybe SXXP. I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of tricky.
Yeah.
He's not going to be SP blind though. Definitely not SP blind.
No. Yeah. So I think SXXP makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Sometimes what we think, you got to be creative. He's got to be something.
You think double creative?
Yeah, we can go C² for this guy.
I think so. Yeah.
We rarely get that on INTPs. And that's probably what like fucking throws his typing off quite a bit too. C². And where we going, above average?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Even that's still kind of tricky, but yeah, I would say above average is fair. I mean, well, yeah, you compare definitely above average for sure.
Yeah.
You compare him to most INTPs, but
yeah.
His development it's unusual though because like his TI is not like overwhelming like like it is with some of them.
Yeah, I think some of the TIs TI is your framework, so it's what you build and what you go through. So if you go through a lot of creative stuff, then it's not going to be back behind scientific stuff. Is what I would say, right?
That's true.
That's why a lot of people will say some of the ENTPs kind of got bad TI, and it's because they're more in the creative pursuits of life. Wow.
But he's still operating with a framework, though.
Yeah.
It's still there.
I mean, I guarantee you, if you sat around him, like if people actually sat around him, they would notice like, damn, this guy actually knows what he's talking about a lot of times.
Oh no, yeah, you could tell that he's a smart guy.
Like that's what I've noticed about INTPs a lot of times. Is like a lot of times when they say something, you can take it to the bank. You can take that shit to the bank. So most people when they talk, you can't take it to the bank, okay? But when INTP tell you something, I'm guarantee you, like a lot of times, you might want to fucking listen. But yeah, guys, so we got him as an INTP. Good to get another INTP instead of like an ENTP or an INTJ. I mean, the celebrity list is ridiculous on those two alone. You guys are obsessed with fucking INTJs and fucking
ENTPs.
Yeah. So we're gonna go for Oprah, right? Not gonna lie, Thomas. Got to give Thomas his credit on this one. I mean, when we were looking at Oprah a while back, I was like, man, I'm thinking whatever did. I sent Thomas a clip, and I was like, bro, this shit sounds like fucking hardcore. And I'm not gonna lie, Thomas jumped off of a cliff. I mean, because nobody would have thought what Oprah Winfrey's type is, and I'm happy to get this bitch on the board here. Okay, so they have her as ENFJ. We know some people have typed her ESFJ. So
Yeah.
we're gonna look at that, guys. Give me 1 second. So they got this ENFJ. If you are in the chat, give me some thoughts of what you think Oprah Winfrey's type is. I want to say Thomas had some balls for this one. Not even gonna lie, got to give him his credit. Like when you coming in balls deep like that, man, got to give you your fucking credit.
Oprah on her Ozempic heart. Well, spoiler, she is not an ENFJ. I'll say that much.
All right, guys. So
I know that's usually that's what people think, and maybe we'll talk about why people think that, but she's not an ENFJ.
yeah. So, like I said, man, got to give Thomas all the credit for this one because I sent the clip and I was not willing to jump off on that ledge. That was a ballsy ass move, Thomas. So that was like if you guys don't know, I call a lot of things the Goku moment, right? So Goku moment, if you ever watch Dragon Ball Z, a lot of times the whole team was getting their ass whooped by one or two people, and then Goku shows up and just handles the whole situation effortless and ease, and then everybody's like looking up at Goku. Got to give it to Thomas. That was a fucking Goku moment because I'm not gonna lie to you, I was not gonna jump off on that ledge. I was not gonna do that. I'm sorry. This is going to push the entire type community, so I had to make sure I gave Thomas his fucking credit on this one. Let's go. Oh, guys, so what do y'all think Oprah Winfrey is? Let us know. Let me and T know. T, we can't see you, bro.
Yeah, 1 second.
I'm getting it ready. All right, guys. So let us know what y'all think Oprah Winfrey is. Let us fucking know. Ray, come on, what y'all thinking? Somebody said ESTJ. Ray said ESTJ. He's going with ESTJ. Somebody said Ozempic. Someone says ESTJ or ENTJ. Let's go, man. Where are the comments at, man? Someone said ESTJ, so we got ESTJ. Okay,
ENTJ.
And we got some ENTJ. Anybody else? We got 10 people in here. Let's go. Somebody said
ENTJ.
ENFJ.
Time traveler. ENTJ.
Let's go. Anybody else before we go in here?
I think most people are going Ozempic. That's
all right, guys. So that's it. Where's Swizzy at? Swizzy, tell me you got a balls deep prediction here, man. No. So
I think Swizzy might be gone. Haven't seen him.
Okay, so we're going with.
He's at work.
Yeah. Most people got ESTJ. Somebody said ENFP. Okay, we got an ENFP. Let's fucking go. We got one ENFP. If you get it right, I will congratulate you on this one. This one, like I said, balls deep. Somebody went INFJ. Damn, you got to commit, bro. You going NFJ. You going NFJ. Okay, you going NFJ. We got ENFP and ESTJ. Okay, we're gonna start this. I'm gonna start in like 10 seconds. Okay, any last ones? Okay. Like I said, if you get this one right, I will congratulate you because when I hit that play button, it's all gonna make sense and the comments should fucking light up. Okay. All right. Tiki, you hear this?
Was a building block.
Okay. Time to shock the world, man.
So that by the time I first sat down to audition in front of a television camera, I think that success is a process. And I believe
success is a process.
Out the fucking gun progression and talking about success. TE.
First Easter speech in the Kosciuszko Baptist Church at the age of 3.5 was the beginning. And that every other speech, every other book I read, every other time I spoke in public was a building block. So
everything is flowing in one direction, guys. That's NI. Okay, that's jumping off the table. That's NI.
So that by the time I first
building block
sat
is
down to audition
abstract.
in front of a television camera and somebody says, read this, what allowed me to read it so comfortably and be so at ease with myself at that time was the fact that I'd been doing it a while. If I'd never read a book.
Okay, now what are we doing? This should let everybody know. I had to practice to perform well. Red light should be coming off in everybody's head. That is SE inferior. Let's go.
I'd never spoken in public before. I would have been traumatized by it. So the fact that we went on the air with the Oprah Winfrey Show in 1986 nationally, and people say, "Oh, but you're so comfortable in front of the camera. You can be yourself." Well, it's because I've been being myself since I was 19, and I would not have been able to be as comfortable with myself had I not made mistakes on the air and been allowed to make mistakes on the air and understand that it doesn't matter. There's no such thing to me as an embarrassing moment. No such thing. If I tripped and fell, if my bra strap showed, if my slip fell off, if I fell flat on my face, there's no such thing as an embarrassing moment, because I know that there is not a moment that I could possibly experience on the air that somebody else hasn't already experienced. So when it happens, you say, oh.
Abstract.
Talking about somebody else's experience, SE.
My slip
I think it's also abstract, though, because
it's no big deal.
she's thinking in terms of the realm of
I was on TV the other day and
possibilities.
somebody says, oh, Oprah, you
It's
have
like a
a
global
run.
approach.
Have you not
Yeah.
seen a run before in your life? Well, I get them too, let me tell you. So, I can't be embarrassed. I can't be embarrassed. Now, when I first started out, that was not true, because I was pretending to be somebody I was not. I was pretending to be Barbara Walters. So I'd go to a news conference, and I was more interested in how I phrased the question and how eloquent the question sounded, as opposed to listening to the answer.
Wants to sound smart.
Which always happens when you're interested in impressing people instead of doing what you're supposed to be doing. And it took me a while. It took me messing up on the air during a live newscast. I was doing a list of foreign countries, and there was all these foreign names, and then Canada was thrown in, and I called Canada, Canada. And I got so tickled that I called Canada. I go, that wasn't Canada, that was Canada. Excuse me, that wasn't Canada, that wasn't Canada, that was Canada. And then I started laughing. Well, it became the first real moment I ever had. And the news director later said to me, well, if you do that, then you should just keep going. You shouldn't correct yourself and let people know. Well, I know. Well, who's ever heard of Canada? So that was, for me, the beginning of realizing that, you can laugh at yourself and you can make a mistake, and it's not the end of the world. You don't have to be perfect. And biggest lesson for me for television, because then it didn't matter. Didn't matter. Oh, sorry, bra strap showing. I only came to co-host a talk show because I had failed at news. And I was going to be fired. And the news director was paying me $22,000 a year. God only knows what my co-anchor was making. But was paying me $22,000 a year. And they thought they were paying me too much money to only just do news stories. And so I'd been taken off the 6 o'clock news and was put on the early morning, like 5:30 cut-ins, and they tried to convince me at the time. They said, you're so good that you need your own time period. So we're going to give you 5 minutes at 5:30 in the morning. And I was devastated, because up until that point, I'd sort of cruised. I really hadn't thought a lot about my life or the direction it was taking. Because I'd happened into television, happened into radio,
progression.
So happenstance.
So we're talking about a lot of progression, happen here, happen there, happen that.
I don't believe in luck.
No,
I think
there's
luck
no
is
outcome,
preparation,
no
meeting
clear
opportunity.
outcome.
But I felt like I had somewhat prepared,
Look,
because I'd happened into television, happened into radio, sort of happenstance. I don't believe in luck. I think luck is preparation meeting opportunity. But I felt like I had somewhat prepared myself, but that
was like a paraphrase of something she probably heard before.
yeah, but that's like the most INTJ statement ever.
That's true.
That is the most INTJ statement ever, okay?
had happenstance.
Have to be prepared.
So I thought, okay, was working in Nashville, and so I moved to Baltimore, and then I'll do this for a while, and then I don't know what I'll do.
And then.
And so when I was called in and put on the edge of being fired and certainly demoted and knew that firing was only a couple weeks away, I was like devastated. I was 22 and, I mean, embarrassed by the whole thing because I'd never failed before. And it was that failure that led to the talk show, because they had no place else to put me. They put me on a talk show one morning. And I'm telling you, the hour I interviewed, my very first interview was the Carvel ice cream man and Benny from All My Children. Never forget it. And I came off the air thinking, this is what I should have been doing, because it was like breathing to me, like breathing. You just talk. Be yourself is really what I've learned to do. And so from the very first day I did my very first talk show, I knew it. I knew it was.
I just can't help but see like Hillary Clinton in her. Am I like bugging? Like I can't help but see like Hillary Clinton.
Like, I could kind of see it, yeah.
Like I can't help but see like, you know, if you seen like the like her little testimony, it got leaked. The testimony she had, I can't help but see like Hillary Clinton.
But Hillary Clinton, she's not relatable and she has shitty social skills. Oprah's like the opposite.
Yeah.
People are very relatable, very likable. Yeah. I think Enneagram-wise, they're probably different.
The right thing to do. I felt the same thing about acting too, only I was so terrified that it was a little more difficult for me. For me, the turn on in acting, is the ability to express another person's life. I think if you can internalize
kind of abstract
and then manifest externally the essence of another being,
Abstract.
that is the ultimate in understanding.
Yeah. Abstract.
What it takes to take somebody else's life, make it your own, and put it out there. It's the ultimate. You
make
understand.
It your own and put it out there.
Things
sounds like
about
some NI
people
shit
that
as well.
You never imagined.
Abstract.
It's like almost for a while getting to live somebody else's life without having to experience all of the experience that comes with creating
living through another person.
Living through another person, where just by taking the experiences, that's NI.
Quincy Jones had, I would not even say an important role. I would say the role in my acting career. Quincy Jones discovered me. And it's so interesting to me because when I was working as a television newswoman in Baltimore, and really all I wanted to do was be an actress, but I was doing television, and I felt at the time, well, I can't quit this job because this is what everybody else wants to do. And if I quit this job, what am I going to do? And I was going to a speech coach at the time that the station had sent me to. The broadcasting school, they sent everybody to the same woman. And I was telling her, I really don't want to do this. What I really want to do is act. And she says, my dear, you don't want to act, because if you wanted to act, you'd be doing it. What you want to be, my dear, is a star. Because if you wanted to act, you'd be waiting tables in New York. And I thought, now why am I going to wait tables if I'm already working in TV? So I said, well, what I think is going to happen is I will be discovered. Because I want it so badly, somebody's going to have to discover me. I want it so badly, someone's going to have to discover me.
And
T, am I bugging here? Can you see this picture? You see it?
Yeah.
I can't help but think like she looks like...
They have like the same haircut.
Yeah, I couldn't help but see it in there. I'm like, yeah. Let's see.
I think they kind of talk similar too. But...
You hear, T?
What?
Do you hear?
I can't hear anything right now. I see your profile picture. That's what I see.
Oh, shit. Okay, it went down. All right.
What happened?
Oh, no, just when I switched over, I kind of did it a different way. So, can you hear?
You're up. I said, you will not believe this. I got
discovered. The volume is low.
And it really was a discovery. It's like one of those Lana Turner stories. Only.
Wait, just give me a second. It's probably me. Let me move. Yeah, she's definitely, I want to pull that Hillary Clinton because she definitely looks like Hillary Clinton. And I don't know why that should just...
I wasn't a drugstore. He was
Yeah.
in his hotel room.
Yeah.
Saw me on TV. It was unbelievable. So the interesting thing about that is that I truly believe that thoughts are the greatest vehicle to change power
Abstract.
and success in the
Abstract.
world. Everything begins with thoughts. I mean, the chairs that we're
Abstract.
sitting in, the room that we're in, all started because somebody thought it.
Abstract.
So
Talking about.
I thought up the color purple for myself. I know this is going to sound strange to you.
See, she's talking about like the words impacting reality. That's an abstract thing, okay?
I read the book. I got so many copies of that book. I passed the book around to everybody I knew. If I was on the bus, I'd pass it out to people. And when I heard that there was going to be a movie, I started talking it up for myself. I didn't know Quincy Jones or Steven Spielberg or how
going through the
on
progression.
earth I would get in this movie. I'd never acted in my life.
We're manifesting it, and
Yeah.
we're manifesting this shit. We're passing it out to everybody. We put it on the walls, like when Arnold talk about putting like magazines of all of the bodybuilders on the wall. It's like I'm making this happen. Okay, I'm putting in everything that I do, and
But I felt it so intensely that I had to be a part of that movie. I really do believe I created it for myself. I wanted it more than anything.
You hear that, guys? You hear that? I created it myself. Oh, you fucking INTJ.
How on earth I would get in this movie. I'd never acted in my life. But I felt it so intensely that I had to be a part of that movie. I really do believe I created it for myself. I wanted it more than anything in the world.
I
would have done anything to do it.
Anything in the world.
Anything to do it. The most powerful scene in Color Purple for me was a scene where Sophia walks through the cornfield and proclaims herself to Celie.
Where the hell is E Dummy at? He want to Oprah.
Defines and proclaims herself.
E Dummy.
Where she says, "All my life,
Oh, E Dummy.
I had to fight my cousins. I had to fight my brothers. I had to fight my uncles, but I never thought I had to fight my own house." I did that scene in one take because it was the essence, I thought, of my life.
Abstract.
More abstract, yeah.
And very liberating to live it through Sophia, because at the time that I spoke it, I wasn't there yet. Because what she is saying is, I've fought people all my life, and I'm not going to fight in my own house anymore, in my own space anymore. I'm going to have what I deserve.
All right, INTJ.
And it's taken me a while to get to where Sophia was, but it was so liberating. It was all, I think, a part of the process of growth for me to recognize it can be done.
The process, the growth.
It can be done. Shona, it can be done.
I was raised on a farm with my grandmother for the first 6 years of my life. I knew somehow that my life would be different and it would be better. I never had a clear-cut vision of what it was I would be doing. I just always felt somehow. I remember absolutely physically feeling it at around 4 years old. I remember standing on the back porch. It was a screened-in porch, and my grandmother was boiling clothes because
my grandmother's doing
at that time we didn't have washing machines, and so people would physically boil clothes in a great big iron pot, and she was boiling clothes and poking them down. And I was watching her from the back porch, and I was 4 years old, and I remember thinking, my life won't be like this. My life won't be like this. It will be better. And it wasn't from a place of arrogance. It was just a place of knowing that things could be different from me somehow. I don't know what made me think that. I always wanted to be an actress for most of my adolescent and adult life. My father didn't want me to be, because his idea of what an actress was one of these, lewd women, and how are you going to take care of your life? So I always wanted to be an actress, and have taken, I think, a roundabout way to get there, because I still don't feel fulfilled as an actress. I still feel like, okay, I own my own studio and all this, but I'm thinking, I did all of this just to be an actress. I just want to be able to act. For a while, I wanted to be a school teacher. In the 4th grade, Mrs. Duncan was my greatest inspiration. In the 4th grade is when I first, I think, began to believe in myself I for the first time believed that I could do almost anything. I felt I was the queen bee. I felt I could control the world. I was
Thomas,
going to be.
what we call this? What we call this, Thomas? Drinking the punch.
Yeah, yep.
The NI punch. She's NI drunk. This is
I could do
NI
anything.
drunk. This is NI drunk, bro. This is right here, guys. This is textbook.
I have no limits.
I've been drinking too much of the NI Kool-Aid. Okay, I think I'm God. Okay, NI God complex, baby.
In the 4th grade is when I first, I think, began to believe in myself. I, for the first time, believed that I could do almost anything. I felt I was the queen bee. I felt I could control the world. I was going to be a missionary. I was going to Costa Rica. I was going to. I used to collect money on the playground to take to church on Sundays from all the other kids. And at the time in schools, we had devotions. And I would sit and I would listen to everything the preacher said on Sunday and go back to school on Monday morning and beg Miss Duncan to please let me do the devotion, just sort of repeat the sermon. So in the 4th grade, I was called preacher. Kids used to poke fun of me all the time. It didn't bother me because I was so inspired at the time. And a lot of it was because of Ms. Duncan. Mrs. Duncan, Mrs. Duncan. And we did a show not too long ago, and I had favorite teachers on. I just broke down because, first of all, it was the first time I realized Ms. Duncan had a name other than Ms. Duncan. You know, your teachers never have names. I thought her name's Mary. I couldn't believe it.
Bro, you get an INTJ talking about what they love and shit like that, bro.
Well, I was born, as I said, in rural Mississippi in 1954, and I was born at home. And there were not a lot of educated people around. And my name had been chosen from the Bible. My Aunt Ida had chosen the name, but nobody really knew how to spell it. So it went down as Orpah on my birth certificate, but people didn't know how to pronounce it. So they put the P before the R in every place else other than the birth certificate. So on the birth certificate, it is Orpah. But then it got translated to Oprah, and so here we are. But that's great because Oprah spells Harpo backwards. I don't know what Orpah spells, so.
What the? This motherfucker Looney Tooney, bro.
I came to live with my grandmother because I was a child born out of wedlock, and my mother moved to the north. She's a part of that great migration to the north.
All right, guys, so we're done here.
Yeah, I think we can wrap it up.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and let Thomas go ahead and tell us what we saw here and what made him come to this conclusion, because this was a balls deep conclusion.
Well, I think off the bat, you notice that she's constantly talking about the journey, constantly talking about the process. She didn't really have a fixed outcome. Outcome focused people, they typically have like a more fixed outcome. She has a movable target. Mm-hmm. But she keeps on giving us the steps or the journey of the process, in terms of how she's, in terms of her life journey, in terms of where she's going and where she's trying to get. She's very direct, using clear, concise language. She's not giving additional context. She's not going on tangents. She's staying on topic. So that would put her in responding. Although as she probably comes off as extroverted to most people, I think that I can understand why most people think she's extroverted. But she is ultimately an INTJ, and this is just my opinion. Maybe Mercer can elaborate on this or say more, but I think eventually she's going to be an Enneagram 3 INTJ, and obviously she's probably social. Mm-hmm. She's probably social, maybe social SOSP. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, I think that they are probably the most extroverted of the introverts, the social 3 INTJ. Mm-hmm. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, just going back to the metrics. So clear, concise, direct, responding, progression. She gave us a number of figures of speech and numbers of metaphors. I can't remember exactly all the ones that she was using. But obviously very, very NI heavy, talking about like drawing from other people's experiences and so forth, kind of like synthesizing down. What else? Responding. Systematic. We weren't really looking at systems, but
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure it's there.
Yeah. You guys see that, right?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm proud. Yeah, pragmatic. Yeah, so she's all about. Yeah, she's all about.
You're gonna get that vision.
Yeah, all about her vision, doing things her way. She's about affiliative is about being interdependent. It's about roles. She's about ends justify the means, like doing what it takes to get to her outcome, get to her goals.
See, we gotta go. We gotta
I
go
think
through that
being a
before, right?
social three, she's able to fool a lot of people.
The social three.
So I think when it comes to what she's done with her life and why people think that she's an FE user, I think it's a combination of being a social three and like putting on a mask, but also I think a lot of it is actually NI hero and just she's able to kind of emulate empathy. She's not, in my opinion, she doesn't. It's not so much that her FE is super developed because it's probably better than most INTJs, but it's still FE trickster. But I think she's able to fool people because NI likes to go deep into things. It likes to like dig deeper, like, and so when she has people on her show or like when she did that, she let's dig deeper, dig deeper, dig deeper, and she's able to get people to open up and build that connection with people. So a lot of people mistake that for FE, in my opinion. That's why you often see ENFJ. Sometimes you see INFJ. Sometimes you see ESFJ. But no, I think it's when you actually look at her life journey and what she's talking about, it's super clear. This is NI hero,
Yeah.
and like she said, she grew up in rural Mississippi. They're poor. They're African American. She was born in the 1950s. So she was born in a situation that almost nobody makes it out of this situation.
And a woman.
But somehow she made it out of this situation to be one of the fucking most famous people in the entire world. And she's built her own fucking media empire. She's like a fucking multi-billionaire. So when you hear something this grand, you should probably only be thinking about maybe one or two or three types at the most that are potentially going to do something like this.
Yeah. And not fuck it up.
Yeah. Oh, and that too. Like she's built this up, and
Not fucked it up.
yeah, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. 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 So yeah, I think like what Thomas said here is 100% fact. The 3 INTJ will trick you almost every fucking time. Okay, every fucking time. So many 3 INTJs that are typed fucking ENTJ or whatever the fuck. No, they're INTJ. You just gotta pay attention. Pay attention. They have become their vision or whatever their vision is maybe attached to an extroverted persona, right? And that is what you're seeing, right? That's what you're seeing. But if you actually know them, they're probably way more like, yo, I need to recharge. I need to be away from people. But when they're around people, they take on that NI vision of what they want to be and who they see themselves as. And boom, they just handled it. But T, what we going for subtype? I think she's gotta be dominant, right?
You think dominant double D or dominant normalizing? I think normalizing's got to be in there, right?
DN?
Or you think or harmonizing? Maybe harmonizing.
DH, yeah, DH.
Yeah, DH, yeah, that's an odd
rare.
one.
Yeah, DH, because she's dominant about that vision, bro. Like,
and like we've said, she's like Shailene.
Yeah.
So she's almost like a Shailene clone.
Yeah, and I gotta drop it. I ain't even gonna lie. I gotta give her Prodigy. Yeah, we don't.
But without question, yeah.
We don't
without question, we have to put her up there.
Yeah, we rarely ever give someone Prodigy. Like, this is a Prodigy INTJ here.
And it's not just about her success, but like in terms of her development, I think you have to give her credit because, like there's nothing like she doesn't have like a very obvious weak point in my opinion.
Yeah.
And she has people fooled thinking that she's fucking FE Dom. What the fuck? Like,
well, that is the biggest part. Like, we talk, like I've said on this channel, like, you should develop so much that people cannot find your type and that they mistype you. That should be your ultimate goal. And obviously, Oprah Winfrey tricked me. She tricked everybody else. They tricked people's mamas. I mean, there's people that were saying Oprah Winfrey was ESFJ. There were people saying that she was a fucking ENFJ. Some people saying she was an INFJ. And guess what? She was actually an INTJ hiding right underneath people's fucking noses, okay? And
sneaky ass INTJ.
Like, literally hiding in plain fucking sight. So, yeah, I couldn't wait to get Oprah Winfrey on the board. Shout out to Thomas for that one because, like I said, there's rare that somebody will go balls deep and say, like, go against the consensus for a type. You know, it's very rare for somebody to do that. And like Oprah is fucking probably 99% type NFJ. Like straight up, like she's type NFJ something. And for him to go like, yeah, bro, I think she's INTJ. I'm like, you know what? T, I think you might be right, man. I think you might be fucking right, man. So, yeah, it was a fun one. I'm glad to get her on here. Yeah, man, I'm gonna get some fucking sleep, T. This is fun. We did 3 celebrities day, guys. It was fun to have you guys join us. We will. It says are all there. Also, do you define as high?
Are all their handlers INTJ as well? Then it says as it's an INTJ iceberg Ouroboros. I don't know what the fuck that means. I don't know what Ouroboros for real
I think
means.
it's like a dragon or something. Angelina Jolie is tricky. Also, oh, is that
She
E
is.
Kevin? E Kevin just showed up. E Kevin, mother, E dummy. All right.
Where's the air horn?
We do have. I have typed Angelina Jolie. She did take me a long time.
She is tricky.
I'm not gonna reveal her type, but I did. Me and T have talked about her, but we will do her in the future.
Yeah, we should. Yeah,
to get her on the channel.
That's one weird motherfucker.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people are gonna get that one right. But hey, nobody in the fucking chat got that shit right. They got ESTJ, ENFP, INFJ,
ENTJ.
Yeah, so no one got it right. I told you guys wouldn't. You gotta have balls. You gotta go balls deep, man. You gotta go Goku moment. You gotta be ready for the moment, and just say fuck it, man. So yeah, we'll do some other people later this week. Me and T are probably gonna do one of these tier lists probably tomorrow or something, and we'll get that edited and probably out. Who said she's not INFJ? Laughing my ass off. Who you talking about? Angelina Jolie? Who you talking about? E Kevin? Who you talking about? Angelina Jolie. I'm not telling you what her type is.
Well, I don't know if he's talking about Oprah or Angela. I don't know. I'm not sure. Oh, I think he's saying that Angelina is INTJ. I think that's what he's saying.
Oh, I mean, I've heard I think a lot of people type it ESTP. So you think INTJ? She's well. You'll have to see, man. You'll have to see. I think you'll have to see. Okay. Yeah. But all right, guys. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out, guys. We're out. It was fun.